Okay. Hi. Okay, just give me a second. Okay.
I need to come here.
Go ahead.
I can't get in the room.
Go ahead. Okay. Okay, I was just making sure that I can actually connect through anything. Okay, I was just making sure that. So I'm going to do this one more time, and then we'll get started with the live stream. Sorry, you guys. Okay, so this is your girl Faith, and welcome back to QWA Podcast. I am so excited. This is the first time of us doing a live stream, so I'm a little nervous, and I'm a little kind of like cringing, hoping that this is, where I'm at with this. Like, just kind of hoping that everything is well with you guys. Hope everything is good with you guys with COVID and everything that's been going on. I'm really grateful for you guys to be I'm grateful for you guys to be here at this moment in time with so much going on, and I just want to thank you guys for reaching out. So this is our first live stream of QWA Podcast. We are connected to Twitch. We're connected to, as a matter of fact, where did I put that? Okay, sorry, you guys. What's up, you guys? This is Your Faith with QWA Podcast, and I hope you all are doing well. This is our first live stream, and I'm a little nervous, but I'm also very happy and optimistic for you guys being here at this time. So I just want to let you guys know this is called, what I'm on right now is called Restream. It's connected to a lot of platforms like Twitch, YouTube, things like that. We're really connected with a lot of things right now. You're also connected to the website. So if you can go on www.qwabrand, click on QWA Podcast, and you will see the live stream of Twitch and YouTube and Facebook, and it'll have you follow on several different podcasting and things like that. So I'm very excited for you guys to be here. I'm very optimistic for you guys being here. And because today we're going to be speaking on forgiveness and trusting ourselves. What that means for us when you speak on forgiveness and trusting ourselves, and why that could mean what it means. Okay? So we're going to talk about that. And we're also going to be speaking on why it's important for us to understand those senses of forgiveness. I'm also on Anchor FM. So while I'm recording live stream here, I'm also on Anchor, so I'm doing my recording as well on there too. So I'm very excited to be speaking with you guys. And I hope you guys take something out of this. I hope you guys leave with an understanding of what it means and why it means what it means when you're speaking on forgiveness and trusting in ourselves. So let's do this. So when we're speaking on so bear with me, you guys, because like I said, I am doing a live stream and I'm also doing Anchor. So when we're speaking on forgiveness and trusting in ourselves, what I speak on, because some people were asking me, like, what did that mean? Like, what is forgiveness and in trusting in ourselves? So that really means, like, giving back to yourself, giving to you what your energy is for and what it's meant for. So, prime example, when you are mad at someone, right, your natural instinct is to not forgive them because you're so angry in that moment of what they did and why they did it. You're not really thinking on, hey, let me just be angry with them, or hey, let me just be frustrated, or hey, they did this, so why would I forgive them in this moment? And that's pretty much because why wouldn't you? It's like they hurt me. They just did something that was really bad. They traumatized me, or whatever you want to call it. They did something to you mentally that may have... I'm sorry about that. They did something to you mentally that may have messed up the foundation of who you were, right? So let's dig deep into this. Let's really get into it. Why are you struggling with forgiving yourself? Think about that. Why are you struggling to forgive yourself? Because when you stay angry with someone, do you not think that your anger is what you're feeding to others? Or do you not think that the anger that you're giving to others is the anger that you're also feeding to yourself? Do you not think that that's what you're doing? Or is there like a certain friction of what that means for you when it comes to forgiveness? Or maybe it doesn't mean anything. Maybe it just means that you have a certain sense of self that you don't want people to jeopardize or violate. But you violate yourself by not giving back to the forgiveness that you deserve to give to yourself. You don't have to, you don't have to forgive for them. You don't have to forgive for them. You forgive for yourself, because your anxiety, your stress, the level of who you are as a person, as a woman, as a man, you don't really need to violate yourself by forgiving someone for them. Prime example, perfect example, as a matter of fact. I had a huge issue with my father. The biggest issue that I had with him was that he wasn't, not that he wasn't there, because I knew who he was. I knew he existed. I knew he was alive and well. I just knew that the time that I wanted with him, I wasn't getting. Like we could have had more time. We could have done a lot of things, and I didn't know who he was as a man. I knew he was a jokester. I knew he was someone that really loved to make people smile, but that was all I knew about him. You know what I'm saying? Like how you are as a person, your character, like that for me is important, because how can I be around someone, or not even that be around someone, but how can I accept someone that I don't know who they are? So I, for the longest time, did not forgive him because I didn't know who he was, and he wasn't giving me that opportunity to know who he was, if that makes any sense, right? But I didn't forgive him for myself. I mean, for him. I forgave him for myself. That is a prime example of what it means. Letting go of your guard, being able to be completely open with the world, being able to let go of that barrier of hatred and confusion, being able to not underestimate the fact that when you're hurt, it can do a lot and it can do very little. I accepted who he was because of what it meant for me, which means everything. I cannot live with myself if I knew that how he was for me was what it was supposed to be for others. You know? And let me know if I'm being confusing, because this is my first live stream, so I'm kind of nervous, but so I'm also kind of saying a lot of things that I'm sitting here like, what? But here's the thing. I'm an introvert. Okay. So I don't like, not that I don't like it, but I don't like putting myself out there. Just for the simple fact that I'm just very sheltered with who I am as a person. And I guess that also comes with it, right? That also comes with forgiveness and entrusting yourself, because I'm an introvert, but that does not mean that I don't forgive the fact that I'm an introvert. I trust in myself. I should be able to trust in myself more to get myself out there. But when you're around a lot of people in your life, when you feel like everything that you've worked towards has a end to something, and I'm actually going to set this up to my, actually I can't do that, can I? Okay. Think about it, wasn't it? And like I said, I'm going to go completely off topic. Forgiveness and trusting ourselves is really a topic of understanding who we are as people, of where we draw the line. And when I'm speaking on in this podcast, even though this is the first time of me doing a live stream, there's reasons behind certain things, if that makes sense. One of the main reasons why I'm not really a live stream person, or not even that I wasn't a live stream person, but one of the reasons why I just wasn't a talkative person. Even in high school, I was very talkative to people I was close to. Like, I had no issues of communicating or speaking to people I was really close to. But when it came to actually speaking to people that I didn't know, it was very hard, very confusing, very shaky, because it's like, I don't know you, like, I don't mind talking. I'll try. A lot of times I was very successful, but I'm just not very talkative. Just not a very talkative person. I'm actually about to add my personal profile for Facebook, because I know some people that would love to see this right now. So what does that mean, right? What does that mean when you're talking on forgiveness, faith? What does it mean when you speak on, trusting yourself? What does that mean? Like, why are we even speaking on this? This is what it means. Letting go of your guard. Being able to trust that you are okay. Being able to respect the fact that not everyone is meant for you, but everything is meant for you. What does that mean? It means this. Give yourself a chance. Some people feel like when you forgive yourself, it's like, why should I forgive you? Or why should I trust in myself? Or why should I forgive in myself enough to give to others what they want? It's not that easy to trust in the fact that when someone hurts you, you should give them a second chance. You should forgive. You don't have to give them a second chance, but it always feels awesome when you decide to put yourself aside and giving someone a second chance. Always, always awesome. But why? Why does it feel awesome to give anyone a second chance? Why does it feel awesome to even give anyone a choice to be okay for you? And this is why. Because what you put out in the universe is what gets back to you. No matter how many times you say it or how many times you put it, what you choose to give to yourself, it goes back out there. It spreads in the universe. It's out there. It's nothing you can do to take it back. It's nothing you can do to change it. It's out there because it's meant for you. It's meant to be had. Say, hey, I want $1 million. Whatever you put out there, I'm going to have $1 million. Whatever you put out there is going to come back to you. So by you saying, hey, I choose to forgive you because I understand that you hurt me, and even though you don't deserve my forgiveness, I'm going to forgive you for me, not for you. The most powerful thing you can do in the time of your life is forgiving someone because you know that the forgiveness that you give is going to come back to you. Everything in my life is not going to be peachy keen. Everything in your life is not going to be peachy keen. But what you make out of the life that you have That's what makes it beautiful. That's what makes it spectacular. That's what makes it amazing. That's what gives you a ground shifting, mind blowing change in direction. And that is all you need in your life. I guarantee you, I kid you not. All you need in your life is to trust in yourself, believe that you'll make it no matter where you are, and respect the fact that sometimes certain things just aren't meant for you. There was a point in my life where I felt like everything was my fault. Everything was my fault. Everything I did was my fault. Everything I said was my fault. Everything someone else did was my fault. Everything else someone else said was my fault. Like, everything was my fault because I couldn't change it. I couldn't fix the fact that my sister wasn't always nice to me, that friends that I had were always picking on me. My mother wasn't always, I wasn't always there for her, and she wasn't always where I felt there for me. Or my grandmother, she wanted this big house and I couldn't provide it. Everything was my fault. But I chose to forgive that. I chose to say, you know what? This is not my fault. Some things can be fixed. Some things can't. Some things are not my responsibility. Some things are. And that's okay. I have a choice to say, you know what? This isn't my day. Or I have a choice to say, this isn't where I want to be right now. It's not where I envision. It's not where I hope for myself. You know what I'm saying? So I chose. What I asked for, what I respected was the fact that I didn't give up on myself. I didn't give up on myself. I didn't let what other people said about me hinder me. I didn't let what the world felt about me hinder me. The biggest thing I liked about my podcast was that I could talk about whatever the heck I wanted to talk about. Even if I was on like the topic of what I was discussing, I can go off topic and come back on topic. That was the best thing that I loved about my podcast, because it gave me room to be able to say what was on my mind, even if what was on my mind isn't what I wanted to talk about in that moment. That was monumental for me. That was powerful for me, because I felt like I have the right chance to speak how I want to speak. And that was another line of forgiveness, because I didn't give myself space to talk about what I wanted to talk about. I let other people talk for me. I let other people think for me. I let other people feel for me. And it was like, at this point, it's like, where do I fit into that? Where do I let people in? Do I let people in? Should I? Do I love myself enough to let people in? And sometimes it's not even about loving yourself. Sometimes it's just about the space that you want to give yourself. Like, do I want to be open to people? Do I want to let my guard down? Do I want to trust people? Whoever has a hard time in trusting, comment in the chat. Say, hey, like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I have a hard time trusting people. Hey, I'm one of them. I have a hard time trusting people. Like, just on the comments, chat. Yeah, I have a hard time trusting people. It's not a bad thing. If you have a hard time trusting people, I promise you, it's not a bad thing to not have people that you care about or trust, to not be trust. It's not a bad thing. Letting your guard down, it's not a bad thing. You're someone who has a hard time trusting. You have a hard time believing. You have a hard time giving. Just in the comments, yeah, that's me. I definitely have a hard time giving. I definitely have a hard time trusting. My first live stream, this is weird because I don't know. So give yourself a chance to forgive who a person is for you. I forgave the fact that my family, certain people in my family aren't meant for me. Some people just aren't meant for you. Some people aren't meant to be in your life. Some people aren't meant to be around you, if that makes sense. Some people just, they're not, their space, their aura, their energy, how they think, their mindset, the way they carry themselves. Some people just aren't meant for you. Like it, and it's so true because oh my God, I can tell you years from it is. I think it's been like almost 3 to 4 years now. Almost 2016. Yeah, almost 3 to 4 years. And I dated a guy, just not meant for me. Some people just aren't meant for me, and I don't hate him. I don't dislike him. I don't have grudge against him. I just accept the fact that some people just aren't meant for you. And some people are meant to leave your life at a certain period of time just for other people to come in your life for a long period of time. That is okay. But forgive the fact, I used to hate the fact that he wasn't meant for me. Because I really liked him. Not even just liked him, I really loved him. And for him to have not been meant for me in that time where I really wanted him to be meant for me, I was done. I just said, fuck it. No relationships. Done. Because who in the world? Like, I don't care anymore. But I didn't let that. No, I did. I'm lying. I let that get to me because some people, when you want them to love you and you just hate the fact that they don't love you the way that you want them, the way that you want to be loved, it can create something for you that's just, it's no excuse. No excuse. It's not changeable. I was done. I was done. I was done with relationships. I was done with guys. I swear I was either going to be a lesbian or I was going to have cats. That's the truth. Okay. It's my podcast. I'm going to speak my mind. Because I was done. I was really done. And I'm so glad that a person left my life just for another to come back in and to change that dynamic for me, to change that mindset. And it's very important that you forgive yourself and the person, that created that mindset for you. Forgive yourself because it's like, why would you have that mindset in the first place? Some things are just stupid. Even though a lot of people don't like to admit that their own mindsets, some things that they think about are stupid. Some things are just freaking stupid. Like, some things you just shouldn't think about. But there are moments where you're like, dang, I wish this would have happened, or dang, I wish that didn't happen, or there are moments where you really do think, and you're like, oh crap, like this just came in my mind, and I don't know how to feel about it. So just stuff like that. But there are moments where you think about it, and you're like, maybe this wouldn't be so bad, or maybe feeling this way isn't that bad, or whatever case may be. But forgive the person and forgive yourself because, life moves on. It will move on without us. So we have a choice to go with it or to just let it fly. We have that choice. The reason why I made a post on Facebook which pretty much expressed just how I was feeling. And I posted like a whole bunch of my family members. And I had also posted my husband, and I had posted posted a whole bunch of things. And the first thing that went into my mind after I was posting this was like, wow, this really feels great to be talking about this, to be thinking about this, to be feeling what I'm feeling, to be sharing it and letting it be what it should be for me. I think the first thing someone told me after the post, and this was like private phone call information, it was like, why do you feel like you need to, what did they ask me? They said, why do you feel like you need to walk away from certain people? Like, what is that? Why do you feel like you need to stop talking to certain people, especially your family? Like, they're your family. You've known them for a long time. Why do you feel like you need to leave? Like, that's bad. They're family. Okay? Look, I love my family. I love them dearly. I go to bat for my family. Even if it was someone I hadn't talked to in a long time. If they called and said, hey, I need your help, I'm there. No question. I'm there. Call me, I'm there. But I had to realize that there were certain things that certain family members were doing that was just, well, it wasn't that it was too much, but it was just too frustrating to deal with because there was no respect. There was no understanding. There was no boundaries being set. It was like they treated me this way, I treated them this way. We weren't seeing eye to eye. We were kind of just doing whatever we wanted to do with how we were with each other. Then I kind of realized, like, I can't do this way, and they can't do this way. So why would I treat them the way that I don't want to be treated? And on top of that, there were certain things that certain family members had said that confirmed that for me. Like, why would I continue to put up with certain behaviors that I don't like, that I shouldn't put up with, that I shouldn't be okay with? And at the same time, why would they be okay with certain behaviors that I do? And what they put up with, it wasn't right for none of us. So I then decided, I said, you know what? I need to get the help that I need to get. They need to get the help that they need to get. If they choose not to, that's fine, but I need to be better for myself. But I forgave that. I understood and forgave the fact that that is what needed to happen in those moments. And same thing goes for you. I'm going to take a short break, and then we're going to come right back into the live stream where we're kind of going to be talking about, before we close, we're going to be talking about kind of why it's important to trust in yourself and your gut. We're kind of going to be speaking on, like, what are some things to do when you feel like you're discouraged, where you feel like people are messing with you. Like, what do you do? We're going to go into that for like a quick second, and then the rest is history. We'll log out as our first live stream ever, and I'm really glad that you guys came and joined me on this live stream, but we're going to go on a short break, so stay tuned. Hi guys, welcome back. Again, this is your girl Faith, QWA Podcast. Before the break, we were speaking on the importance of forgiveness and what it meant for us to have that forgiveness in ourselves, what it meant for us to let go of some barriers, to accept the fact that there are certain things that we can't change, to improve, blah, 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 blah. That we were talking about a lot of stuff. So right now, during this break, after, we're going to be speaking on trust. We're going to be speaking on trusting ourselves. It's time for us to trust the fact that we are the impossible. We are ground shifting. We are influential. We are amazing human beings. We are inspiring. We can do anything we put our minds to. It's time for us to trust the fact that not everything we go through is going to work out. But once it does work out, like what's the saying? There's There's calmness before the storm. There's always calm something before the storm. Write it down in the chats if you remember what it is. I think y'all know what I'm talking about. There's always calm before the storm, or storm before the calm. Something. Write it down. Write it down in the chat. I think y'all know what I'm talking about. But there's always that. Or grass. I forgot all of the sayings. Lord Jesus. But it's time for us to trust the fact that we cannot change what happens in our life. We can accept it for what it is. We can forgive it for what it is. We can trust it for what it is. And we move on. But what is moving on? I think that's going to be the next topic for our next podcast. What exactly is us moving on? How do we move on from things? Like, I've had a lot of people, especially if you're an old school person, you've always been told to move on with something. But it was like, how? How do you move on? How do you? And some people just kind of figured it out themselves. And their method of moving on probably wasn't them moving on. It was just them getting over it. You know, it was kind of like, whatever. It happened. And, but you have to let go. You have to let go. And I've learned that the hard way. I've learned that the most difficult way of letting go. But I'm glad that I allowed myself to forgive and move on when I did, because it's one thing for you to let go and move on. It's another thing for you to just move on and still be angry about it. And I'd rather forgave and move on than to move on and be angry about it, because that's just doing too much. And I was moving on being angry about it, because I kept bringing it up. I kept bringing it up, and it wasn't like I wanted to. It was just like, how do you move on? How do you let it go? How do we do this? I kept bringing it up. It wasn't going nowhere. It was going to stay in my mind. So I wanted it to go away. And I did. I really wanted it to go away, even when it was staying in there. So now I trust the fact that, hey, I can move on from this. I can walk away. I can be good. I'm content with life. I'm happy. Blah, blah, blah. But you gotta trust yourself. I think the first thing I did was I accepted the fact there was things that I couldn't. No. First thing I did was I did a session. First thing I did was I did a session. I listened to the person. I listened to their mindset and how they were now. I took a choice of, is this my cup of tea, or is this something I should walk away from? I chose to walk away from it. I forgave the person for their mindset and how they felt about life, or how they felt about themselves, or how they just felt about me at the time. And I also forgave the fact that there were some things I couldn't change in that moment, and there were some things I could change in that moment. What I could change in that moment was, first thing is, I don't have to put up with it no more. The second thing I realized I could change is that I don't need this person to validate my feelings, because I validate my feelings just by being here, just by being who I am in that moment. The third thing I had to do was I prayed. The third thing I did was pray about it, because I was so angry. But I knew I needed to process the anger that I felt. Process anger. Don't ever let somebody tell you to move on and not process anything. Be willing to process what you feel in the moment. Because there's a lot of people, including people in my life, who told me to just move on. And it was like, how do you tell a person to move on with something that they're still going through? How do you address that? The first thing you do is you accept the fact this person is not changing. And you process all of the anger, all of the animosity, the sadness that you felt from it. Don't ever let someone in your life tell you to not be sad, to not be scared, to not feel sheltered or alone. Feel what you feel, be able to feel it. Because the only reason why I say feel what you feel, be willing to feel all of that, is because you have to be willing to move on. And before you move on, you have to feel everything that came with what went on with you in your life. And that's it. Be willing and move on. And that's all it is to it. Be willing to let go of your guard. Be willing to let go of everything that goes on through your life. But trust the fact that you can go. It's light at the end of the tunnel. Trust that. This has been really awesome. ready to zone out. This is your girl Faye for QWA Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I'm trying to remember all of it. So Twitter is QWA Podcast. Twitter is Podcast QWA. Facebook is QWA Podcast. And then you can follow my personal page on Facebook. Twitch. Follow me on Twitch because I am doing live streams more often. Follow me on Twitch at QWA Podcast. Also, if you're someone who's like, I don't want to do Twitch, I don't want to do Facebook, I don't want to do YouTube, none of that, you can watch my live streams on www.qwabrand. You can watch it on the website. Just go to our website at qwabrand.com. Click on QWA Podcast, scroll down, you should see the live stream pop up. There's like 3 selections. You can choose to do YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. It will pop up on all 3. And just watch us, please. I'm going to be doing this every Monday. If not every Monday, then every Tuesday. And I'm looking so much forward to seeing you guys in our next podcast. Thank you. Peace out. Love you. Bye-bye.